Well, we got two issues with this one today. Fuel leak, and it won't shut off. Real gentle. I'll be very, very quiet. We rabbit hunting. See me barely moving? Right there somewhere. We're working on a little Husqvarna 150BT, but they all the same. Normally, if you got a fuel leak, you're probably talking about gas cap, fuel grommet, or fuel lines. Sometimes it'll be leaking right out the carburetor. This one I looked at a minute ago, I tipped it over to the side, leaking out of the fuel lines and out of that grommet right there. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out of the way because I'm gonna remove this air cleaner backing plate anyway, in order to show you how to check the it won't cut off stuff. Looks like to me this thing been sucking in some dirt, huh? Let's get this cover right out of the way. And the carburetor's gonna fall off too. That's okay. That ain't good. Look at all that dirt. You know what that's gonna do? It's gonna get in there and scrapey on the piston. Sometimes it'll leak out of the carburetor if you got a leaky needle in the seat. And the way you find that out, just pump that primer ball a bunch and you'll see gas leaking right out of one of them two ports. Now this works out kind of good for us having to do these fuel lines because we got to get right in here and test on some wires about that won't shut off deal. See if I can get these off of here. Come off of there. Come off of there. Now we're off. Let's just go ahead and get this carburetor out of the way. So I just loosen that little lock nut and screw this back. Do this, lift up on your throttle, and there it is. Hey, welcome back to Rayleigh's Small Engines. I'm T-Bone. This is your Get to the Point channel. I got a little kit here we're gonna put in this thing. So to do this, pretty simple. Screwdriver, just poke right in here, pop it out of there. Ooh, that thing needed a fuel filter anyway. Kind of dirty. All right, so here's a little trick for you. A little bit of Vaseline I keep on the carburetor bench. Oil, anything, WD, doesn't matter. Put something on there, it just makes it kind of go together easier. Slip that down in here. Now some of these, you know, like Echoes and stuff, they've got some little tiny little grommets. Sometimes it helps to pull the fuel hoses out. Be careful that you don't poke your screwdriver through it. Oop. Just that fast. Fuel leak fixed. Now what I want to get at is these wires right here. And I need to remove a screw right there. We'll get this cable out of the way. Just another T27 right there. When you go to put this in, be very careful because you're going into plastic. And we'll pop this right out of there. Now here's what we want to get to. So for this test, we're gonna go up to the ohm setting, which is like a horseshoe. And what you're listening for, this one's got a beeper on it. And you don't have to have anything fancy to do this. Just any old voltmeter will work. You just watch for the numbers to change. Let's unplug this. Maybe. Come over there. Come over there. Ah. Okay, this side goes up there to your trigger handle. This side goes to your coil and to ground. Some people want to call it a magneto. I don't care what you call it. It's the Sparky make it happener thing. All right, let's hear. No beep. When we have a beep, we know what we're doing is testing between here and the switch on the handle. Now you'll hear the beep, but this will also go to zeros or a point something something. I'm gonna go right over here to the switch. Let's cut it off. We got nothing. We got nothing. So what did we just learn? We learned we've got a problem between here and that switch. Look at the wire real close. Sometimes there's just a break in the wire inside the insulation. Yes, it's wrapped around, but there's seems to be plenty of slack. You're looking for a pinched area. I think we're going straight for the switch. So the fun part is how much mess is going to fall out on the workbench. kind of hold it together when you take this apart. Maybe. There we go, pretty easy. Now I'm gonna show you the best I can on here. See those two little metal flat bars right there? Here's your on off switch. Those connect together when you cut it off and put continuity between your two wires to make them go like that. So let's watch those little flat bars. They appear to be going together and coming back apart. Now my meter is still hooked up on the other end of this harness. All I'm gonna do is take my screwdriver and jump across these two terminals here. That's gonna test the wire. Right. We might have a break in a wire. I'll try that one more time. Yeah, hooking those two wires together with a screwdriver, you know, just to make them just like the switch was on. Okay, we're not hearing any beepage. So we need to go check this whole wire. There's a problem somewhere. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm trying to hold my throttle cable in there and everything together. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this to the off position, and then we're gonna start touching stuff, moving wire. Let's see if we can untangle. I'm still hooked up. What we're gonna do is move stuff till we hear a beep. Maybe we'll get lucky. Come on, reveal yourself to me. Hope everything don't fall out of that handle. Not finding a problem. All right, even though I touched those together with a screwdriver, I'm gonna let's retest. Now the switch is still in the off position. Let's make sure this switch is working. I know it's hard for y'all to see down in here. Yeah, we got a beep. So we know that the switch is working. Let's cut it back on. Let's make sure it's not beeping. No beep. So there is a break in this wire somewhere. The connection between those two pieces right there where I'm pointing the screwdriver, sometimes it's a bad connection right there, and that doggone thing will fool you and drive you nuts. All right, so let's determine if it's the red and black wire or the red wire. And the way I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna take my little clampy thing and put right in here across both of them, okay? Now with that done, I'm gonna go back to ohms, and then we're gonna touch. I got a beep. There's the solid red wire. That's the black and red wire. So the break is in that red wire. Let's go wiggle jiggle some more. Now there's only one other clamp behind this gas tank that you have to pull the whole darn tank out, which shouldn't be a big deal. I'm just wiggling both sides of that. Sometimes you move the wire around and you'll find it, because this loom is not split. I like it when they are split. You can just go into the direct spot you need to go into. Uh-oh, there it is, there it is. Listen, I just hit it right in here somewhere. There's our, where's it at? See, y'all hear that? Okay, let's see if we can isolate this down to a closer area. Find the right spot. Come on, where's it at? Where are you at? Doggone it. Move, where'd he go? Sometimes you just have to be patient. Take your time with this stuff. Is anything moving or changing up here? No, it doesn't seem to be. Uh-oh, wait a minute. You see, you gotta be very careful of what you move to find this thing. Look here, now I'm moving here. Maybe it's up here. It's just so hard to tell. All right, look. There's a break right in here somewhere. I'm being very careful to hold this and not move it and work my way up till I find it. There it is. All right, watch. I think it's right in this area. Okay, real gentle. I'll be very, very quiet. We rabbit hunting. Where's it at? It's right here somewhere. See me barely moving? Right there somewhere. Shh, be very, very quiet. I'm going in. Nurse T, scalpel. No. All right, let's get this out of the way. Enough foolishness, y'all. See if we can get this thing. I think what's going on right here by this handle, I think is probably from the wire bending. So let's cut this thing. See what we can find. Do y'all see that little kink right in there? It looks like it's pinched a little right in there. All right, just cut the meter back on. Y'all be very quiet. I'm gonna barely move this. Look. See, I'm barely moving. Our brake is right there. The copper is broken inside the insulation. Let's try it again. See, I'm barely moving. Let's fix it. I'm going to tell you what, patience. Take your time, folks. Patience. It's too easy. Now, I don't want a real big bump inside this wire. That's right at the edge of that handle. So I'm going to split this back a little bit further. We can always fix that. We want a little more room. We know our brake is right here at this indentation. So let's carefully go in here and we're going to separate the black wire and the red wire with precision, like I just cut the red insulation. Yep, I just cut it again. Well, at least we're cutting the red. I really don't want to damage the black wire. Let's see. See right here? Watch, I'm pushing it back together. You see right there? There it is. There's our problem. Watch. Let's see if this will happen. Right there is where it's broken, y'all. Okay, let's get her fixed, y'all. We're going to skin this boy back a little bit on both sides. Just like that. All right, so I got this little pink butt connector. This one's got the little heat shrink thing. You heat it up with your lighter, heat gun, whatever you got. Let's tighten these bad boys here up. You got them real tight now, okay? Little crimper tool. I'll put a link to that right down in the description. And I'll put that voltmeter in the description also. And, but again, you don't have to buy one that expensive. Just pretty much any old voltmeter will work just fine. Crimp this on. And let's crimp this one on. Get in the hole. There we go. Okay, I'm hooked on the red wire on the other end. Let's touch it on this red wire. We got continuity all the time. All right, let's see if this bad boy is going to work now. Look at there. We in business now. All right, y'all, let's heat this mess up. Use whatever you got. Little heat shrinker. And yeah, it's going to be a little fat for that insulation or that corrugated cover to wire up stuff. But that's okay. Now you can use the cheapy tape. I'm going to use the 3M tape because that's what I like. Use what you like. I'll put a link to that down in the description for you. But use whatever you like, whatever your preference is. Let's see, it's going to be a little fat, but I think it sticks right past the edge of this trigger handle. Y'all been over and seen T-Bone After Hours? That's our other channel. Man, you ought to see me fighting with that bush hog. There's 3 videos on that thing already. And daggone, a part 4 is coming up. Goodness sakes, that thing has whooped my fanny, let me tell you what. Now let's see if we can get all this fished back in the proper place. Okay, let's see if we can get this back where it's supposed to be. Just like that. Everything is in position. Your cable's in there. Spring. Where'd my handle go? Oh, that screw just fell out. That's all right. Here we go. Hold it nice and tight like that. Plank the screw going in. Because you're not lined up, T-Bone. There you go. And just a couple screws. Let's tighten this bad boy back up. All right, let's disconnect this. And it doesn't matter what hooks to what, because all you're doing is making continuity across the two. There we go. Now this was folded something like that. And then this fit up in here. And all we got to do is put our screw back in. Again, do this by hand. Do not do what I'm doing. Bum up. That's torque to specification. Okay, let's get our throttle hooked back up. I just took some brake cleaner and cleaned this thing off. I hope the doggone thing runs after all this. Let's see if I can get this cable back in the right spot. I know my big old fat finger's in the way. Yeah, that's perfect. Let's go ahead and get our fuel lines hooked in. Get on the carburetor. Stupid fuel line. Messing with T-Bone. What in the world kind of goings on is that? That's perfect. Do not do what I just did. Do not do it. Don't do it, y'all. Let's get this little doodabber back up in the doodab spot. We're about ready to see if she's going to even run. I don't know. Do y'all know? No, because y'all ain't seen it run either. I haven't either. Now, why did all that dirt get in there? That's what I don't understand. I don't know. All this is pretty clean. Maybe they ran it without an air filter at some point or something. I don't know. Let's see. See these little clips right here hook up under the bottom and that little thing. All right, I forgot to run this back into where it was, because you want just a little bit of play in there. Just like that. And all we got to do is hold this one. Tighten that. Beautiful. And got just a little bit of slack. Perfect. Okie dokie. Let's get some of these tools out of the way. Will it run? I don't know. We're about to go and find out. Let's pump the primer ball, you know, it's up under the bottom because y'all just seen it. Will it pump fuel? It needed that fuel filter. I ain't checked the spark plug, nothing. We'll go find out. All right, is this switch on? The question is, will it start? The other question is, will it shut off? That's choke. Is it gonna run? Oh yeah. Here we go. Here we go. Can you believe that it shuts off? So you know we got some rules around this shop. Careful visual inspection, simple things first. Patience, people, patience. Take your time, test things, check it out. Don't do it halfway. Do it right, okay? Appreciate you guys tuning in to Rayleigh's Small Engines. I'm T-Bone. This is your Get to the Point channel. We'll see you soon. Let's fire it up again. Woo! Boys, I tell you what,